When we were thinking about this panel, about this discussion, how to ensure that domain industry can collaborate with CERTs, I was thinking about who could be the best moderator. And naturally, Barbara, who is the head of .si, country code top-level domain of Slovenia, and the chair of CENTER. We've already mentioned CENTER several times today. And I will let Barbara explain why she is such a great moderator of this session. Barbara, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Katrina, and welcome all. No, I know Katrina would like me to tell you some secrets about why am I the right person to chair this panel. I'll do that a little bit later. I don't want you to start laughing right away. Let's keep it at some level. So, if you've been paying attention very carefully to the previous debate, Patrick said explicitly that he believes that one of the most important things to improve DNS security is cooperation of national CERTs, ccTLDs, and governments on the local level. And so, now we will go deep down in this subject. So we will talk about the benefits or maybe some downsides of the cooperation between ccTLDs and the whole community, DNS ecosystem, and national CERTs. So why? As you know, ccTLD registries have been providing a very reliable, stable, and secure service for their respective local communities since many, many years. Remember, 30. Congratulations. We have always been aware of our responsibility and importance of doing that. So we made sure that over these many, many years that the websites, the emails, and so the other stuff under our ccTLDs kept alive and up and running. So we are the good guys, I suppose. But there are another group of good guys. CERTs, their mission has since ever been, building the trust in internet, educate, inform, try to find the bad guys on the internet and mitigate the damage if something, goes terribly wrong. And then over the last years, the DNS ecosystem, but actually the whole internet, has changed and been deeply impacted by the security threats, and that somehow impacted also the trust in the internet. And of course, it's in the interest of all of us to rebuild that trust, because our daily life actually more or less completely depend on internet services. So taking into account all of that, it's more than natural the question why wouldn't we cooperate more, CERTs and national registries. Before we start, I would like to introduce our distinguished panelists. Daiva works at the National Cybersecurity Center under the Ministry of National Defense of Lithuania, but I know her from her previous life. She has worked in the DNS industry for more than 30 years as the manager of .LT. So we have an expert amongst us who knows actually both sides. Dana serves as a digital project manager at .LV registry, and she's very, very active also in the marketing working group. She's a co-chair of the marketing working group within CENTER. she collaborates and provides new idea also on the marketing strategies and initiatives, but with a keen eye on the security, on domain name security. And we have our two panelists who introduced themselves already before. So Timo, he's the head of development with .ee. And he said in his presentation that he's got a lot of revolutionary and disruptive ideas. We'll hear about them. And Tomas, working in the DNS industry since 2007, currently a chief technical officer with .LV. .LT, sorry. So welcome all, and well, I will warm up you, the panelists, to start with something optimistic and very nice, because there already are some very successful projects running. Well, there is a lot of cooperation and collaboration between CERTs in this region, and I would kindly ask you to present some successful projects and their results. So maybe we start with Tomas.
Well, I think collaboration of .LT with national security of Lithuania is actually very fruitful, and we have pretty recently, about a year ago, started a DNS firewall service. That's basically a DNS recursive service for Lithuanians. It's actually, the idea was from Latvia's Ugnis Mūris. In this project, .LT Registry provides a technical expertise on actually running the DNS infrastructure and managing day-to-day technical stuff. And CERT provides the malware block lists, updates feeds of the block domains, handles contacts with persons which we have any inquiries and so on. So we are doing the invisible job in this project, and we are happy that it's actually quite successful and running smoothly.
Great. I think that we often make a very invisible, we play a very invisible role, but I think that's okay. If it becomes very visible, it would be probably in occasions where something would be terribly wrong. So it's good that people don't know about DNS so much. Daiva, would you like to add something to this project? How did CERT cooperate and saw that cooperation?
Yeah, this project was an idea of the National Cybersecurity Center, just to have this infrastructure, following the example of Latvian friends. And at the first it was not easy, because no one wanted to use some structure which is blocking something. Then why I should use it? There are a lot of questions. And little by little, we saw the progress on it, because the government somehow decided that operators who have providing internet access to people mandatory need to use a block list, which are responsibility of CERT, national CERT. And so it happens that the service is now successful, because we see the results that around 90% of registrars are using this block list, and they save some people money. If we talk about the sector of financial sector, which is now, we hear a lot that it's a problems with the sector. It's not only financial, of course. So yes, so it's quite successful project, one of projects, and it's nice that we have these results.
That's great to hear. I wanted just to ask another question. Do also some national law enforcement agencies use this service if they are entitled to send requests for some blocking?
It's another project which is ongoing. We, as National CERT and National Security Center, will be responsible from the platform, which will be available next year, and will be the main point of information where all parties which are participating in this project can get the information on all these block lists. It won't be like now that every law enforcement company sending the mandatory instructions to the registry, to the registrars, but it will be one point in this platform, so we eliminate a lot of other steps. So we hope it will be successful too.
That sounds perfect, and maybe we'll, as a Slovenian registry, maybe we'll come to some instructions. Thanks a lot. Dana, maybe you can also share some collaboration projects with CERT.
Yes, well, we as a .LV registry are very actively collaborating already for a while with our local CERT. I think this event here is a very great example of that. So as Patrick said, Ministry of Defense, the registry, and CERT, it's a match made in heaven, so we can see that here as well. So the one area we do collaborate is basically on raising awareness of cybersecurity amongst governmental institutions, organizations, individuals in general. So that is done via events like this that we co-organize, via events that we go together and educate that are organized by other individuals. So it's simple as CERT is invited to talk about cybersecurity in an event. They see that it would be suitable for us to attend as well. So they just say, Dana, come with us. They say, okay, let's do that. And we give them information all related regarding DNS, because as already Tomas noticed out, we are kind of unnoticed, underrated. So if they don't pick us by the hand, usually the organizers don't be so eager to reach out to the registry per se. They reach out to CERTs, they reach out to others, but that's where the collaboration really works. And also via marketing campaigns. Again, when CERT is doing a marketing campaign, or we are doing, we try to collaborate, feed them with the topics, articles, or videos, or etc. in that area. So it's all targeted towards awareness raising. And then the second one that already Diva and Tomas explained, that DNS Modus, that is a very practical outcome, a service that we were kind of offering for all internet users that are here in Latvia for 25 years already. That is the DNS recursive server. We just used the services that we had already in-house, and again, collaborated with CERTs with their RPZ, response policy zone. And now, again, I think it's a very useful tool for everyone to use in their, and it's free of charge. You can use it in your phones and on your computers and everywhere. So it's not just the RPZ, it's also DNSSEC validation. We again try to, during this collaboration, imply, please use DNSSEC. This server also validates if the website is signed or not signed. DNS data encryption, doc and dot, it's also again in this DNS recursive server. So we kind of try to make like this beautiful flower bouquet of cool stuff, and hopefully all together we can sell it and influence our audience to use that and use the benefits of a secure DNS. Yes.
I'm sure that also your knowledge of marketing helps here to prepare a perfect bouquet, because if it stays only usable for advanced users, then it doesn't reach the normal people. Timo, have you some great project to share with us?
Well, Estonian CERT is one of our dearest partners, I would even say, right after registrars, of course. And we are in very active cooperation with them since, I guess, they were formed many years ago. There are so many specific projects that to bring up. We have done some DNSSEC topic marketing with our information authority some years ago, but we are providing them with all kinds of access, unrestricted WHOIS access, for example, to the registry, so they can easily monitor what is going on, who is behind any kind of registration. We have provided them API for reporting invalid contact data that we are acting upon. Basically, all these reports result in forced delete process being started. We have direct chat open with them, plus group chats with that includes, I guess, if not all Estonian critical and important infrastructure service providers. So sharing information is basically daily, constantly going on. And we have listed CERT as officially as our actionable source of legitimate input. So any kind of suggestions or reports that come in from CERT, we usually act upon.
So we can say that in this region, cooperation between CERTs and registries, well, it works. We are aware that, or you are aware that this is a valuable cooperation, and it can only bring something good to both of you and also to the community. But a couple of years ago, CCERT Network initiated a survey amongst their members, so national CERTs, about how many of them have regular cooperation between with national registries, and actually the results were pretty much disappointing. Maybe this has changed, but it has shown that registries and CERTs that are well, a part of the same organization. This is not so rare well, we know that this is true in Latvia. This is true also with us, with Switzerland, with quite some. So here, when we grew up together, the cooperation is very natural. But at some countries, actually, it's not that they don't want to cooperate. They just don't, well, know each other. And maybe it would be time to meet national CERTs and national registries first, maybe inside center, to initiate some kind of project, so that we can find our national partners. It's often like this, that we, via EU or via international fora, you find your own contact in your own country. And now it's probably time to share the way how Slovenian registry cooperates. We are also a part of the same organization. We do most of the stuff that was already described. We have very good relationship, and Katrina was talking about this relationship. I got married to the national CERT manager, so we are really very well connected. Yeah, yeah. So we were talking about cooperation and about the benefits. Can you see, or have you, well, have you got to some obstacles or downsides when cooperating with CERTs? I mean, I don't know, different mission, different goals of CERTs and registries, different authorities supervising and so on. Maybe just to bring also that on the table. Is there someone who can think about some? Dana is nodding.
Yes. Sometimes, as you say, the priorities are a bit different, but it depends on the time and the resources that they have. Sometimes the priority, we totally understand that it's the way we should be. We don't have neither the time, neither the resources to dedicate it. So it's not now, but maybe afterwards, because we have our own fires to take care of here. And maybe this is not the place here in our example in Latvia, but if it's with other institutions, not CERTs, because we are under one roof, so it's a very huge bonus for us. But if it's with other organizations, I'd say it's a very huge bureaucracy that sometimes is like stopping collaborations on its key, because it's too much to take care of. And if it would be easier, I think that from bureaucracy's perspective, then I think that would be also a huge benefit in collaboration there. And sometimes you have to be careful not to overshare some sensitive information in the process as well, because people change and they may change their jobs as well. So you never know how that implies there. So I think these are the only ones that I can come into mind, because really there's no like huge cons in good collaboration.
Some else obstacles? Maybe Daiva, can you see some from the sides of CERT, maybe about sharing the information, that it's sometimes, well, difficult or?
You know, I can try to figure this from the other side now, not like from the registry to the CERT, but from the CERT to the industry, not only to registry, because we are talking not only about registry.
True.
Because the CERT provides services to many other entities, and when you talked about collaboration, that about this CERT. That not much people are collaborating and not much registers collaborating. It depends how many information you're sharing with them. And actually we have not only one successful project about we talked, we have much more projects. So, and these projects involves other entities, and they do want to collaborate with us from other side. So I think it depends what the service you are providing. So one of examples I can say that we providing a communication channel for entities from different sectors like financial sector, post sector, and ICP sector and other sectors. They can collaborate themselves and between and exchange the information. And actually it's becoming more and more popular, because now with when we getting more and more attacks and we need to solve the problems, it's much easier to get information in the channel when people discussing. So if to look into the side from the CERTs to the industry, I think now it's getting more and more cooperative.
That's a very good news, and maybe I would like to emphasize that our CERT runs a very successful awareness raising program, also every year focused on another group, and they actually got with this a lot of visibility, and I think that also really raised the awareness of local internet community with that. So this is also one of the important roles of CERTs, and if registry can share their their awareness campaigns. It's also, we spread the news. So no obstacles from your sides, or Timo found some?
No, I didn't. Just, I guess it's the long cooperation that we have kind of straightened out the quirks, because I remember we did have some, I guess, misunderstanding or differences of expectations years and years ago. But today we know what to expect from each other. We have communicated, I guess, enough, and I guess at least twice a year there is an event where CERT and most of the critical infrastructure service providers come together, and in this informal environment just speak and share and kind of, what's the word, become closer friends. So
that helps, that always helps.
Sauna with bear.
Thank you. I'd like to invite all the other players in the DNS ecosystem. I know that there are registrars in the audience. I am looking at the Menti. I see no questions from the audience. Maybe I missed them, I hope not. But please, share with us what you would like to see. What kind of cooperation do you think it's needed? In which field, and how to maybe what is the role of the registries here to facilitate, to help to get in contact. I don't know, but please do cooperate to make it more interesting. And now I would like to ask my panelists, while waiting for your questions, do you see an opportunity of cooperation also with implementation of new legislation? We are all aware, also in the previous panel, it was stressed out that while there is a bunch of new legislation coming up towards, well, to try to rebuild trust in the internet, but it will affect the daily operation. I have to stress out not only registries and of course CERTs, but well, the biggest changes will be at the registrar side, I'm afraid, because registries are sort of, I think, well prepared. And I would like to ask participants, do you see any role of well, cooperation or importance of cooperation between CERTs and registries at the moment of implementation of EU legislation, or even influencing the EU directives? I'm talking about now, well, the implementation of NIS2 is awaiting us with a lot of unknown things. Do you think that here, because this is also the field where CERTs are highly involved, maybe we could work together and come to better solutions? Any ideas?
The aim of the NIS2 directive is to improve high level of cybersecurity and resiliency for within the organization. And as we all know, that the scope of this directive will be much, much wider than it is now. And information and resources for the organizations which are new in this directive, and the one which will need to comply with some technical and organizational requirements, it's a really big challenge. So it's not easy for small organization, okay, even it's not smaller by the size, to comply with this. So they will need help. And I think that this help will need to come from the maturity companies like the registries, maybe some big registrars which are already have in the infrastructure these all technical standards, and they can help the smaller ones. So you can do it only in communication and cooperation.
I agree.
Yes, I agree with Daiva that I think this discussion is important in the ways that this is an example also for the registrars, if it is in NIS2 directive to raise the awareness of cybersecurity in general. It's much easier and less expensive to do it together with your friends, because we are a small registry, small country, and this is as much as we can do. Also registrars, they may not be as big and may not have as huge manpower, but in collaborational efforts, that is how we can do that as well. And all the legal initiatives that are coming forward in order to make the DNS much safer, I think it's crucial for us to be in contact, and that's how we can, via fruitful conversations, generate good legislation and not laws that cannot be implemented, or it's impossible to do it in a way that it's written. So, so we do have, for example, due to this close collaboration with CERTs, we had an example a few weeks ago, I guess, where someone registered a domain name CERT.LV, but with an R that was like in a diacritical mark. So because we do have this close collaboration, we could reach out to them and inform them about them so they could keep an eye on these domain names. So little things, like simple things, they do, and you can't put it in the law that you should do that, because if I don't know the person, how can I do that? So it's very crucial. So I think it's important not only for CERTs and us to collaborate, for registrars to collaborate, to come to these events. So thank you, everyone. Registrars, I know a lot from Estonia and Lithuania have flew here or driven here, so thank you for that. And build these communities, meet each other, see each other, and have each other's phone number just in case, because you never know what will happen. We had different presentations before. You never know when these contacts really may come handy. So yeah, so we could all sleep at night very well.
I think it's very important also to have a communication with legislators. The recent changes in Lithuania are a great example where we were approached by the ministry for comments, and we are happy that we were heard. Because sometimes, as Dana said, well, the spirit of the law is great, but the details are wrong, and we need some input or correction. So
the devil is usually in the details. Yeah, Timo.
I guess what I already mentioned, invalid contact data reporting is one of examples of how what we do and that supports the NIS2 directive requirements, for example, of validating data in the registry. We, of course, do a lot ourselves before that, but sometimes it happens that we might miss something, and CERT comes and reports these mistakes to us. But regarding maybe further cooperation, I guess in the same regards, what we have been struggling for years is, for example, validating data of foreign registrars and contacts. And then this is maybe where even the network of CERTs can maybe help out registries.
Yes, well, tomorrow we'll talk more deeply about NIS2 directive and the implementation of it. But maybe here is also a place for cooperation, because, as you know, registries are, well, we are gathered in center, and we try to somehow make an impact on the well, first directives and then implementation. And with NIS2 directive, there are so many unknowns that they, even on the level of EU, established the NIS2 implementation coordination group. So they really don't know how to implement some of the articles, and they would like to do it, well, as have to have a unified approach on the national levels as possible. And here I can see the possibility that because also CERTs coordinates their network and they come to an agreement on some implementation, and maybe if we manage to get some common statement about the articles that we are all concerned about, the validation, the verification, the reports and security measures. So maybe here is an option to collaborate, well, the whole networks of ccTLDs and networks of CERTs. Maybe we would get to better results together. So registrars don't ask questions and audience also not. Does this mean that we are so boring? I hope not. There is still an option to catch any of us later. And for the last round, maybe, is there any other, do you see any other field of cooperation or how to improve it, or is this the best forum to do it? So how to improve, and in which fields more cooperation between the DNS operators and CERTs is needed, or where are the possibilities?
If we talk about security, so one of options we see, and actually already started, is to participate in malware information sharing platform, which we collecting the information and use for the sectors, also for the internet service providers. They can put some information and to share with others. So I really invite people to use the system, which is, I know every CERT knows what it is, and actually it will be really helpful in cooperation between the entities.
Great. Thank you. Some other ideas, or we already found all? No?
I think if you ask how to better collaborate with CERTs, if you don't have this benefit of being under one roof, then you don't know in per se the CERT representatives, collaborate with someone else who collaborates with CERTs. Because from our example, a lot of new friendships and collaborations have been arised because we did collaborate with CERT. So we do collaborate with them efficiently. Everything works out, and then they invite someone else in the group, and then we collaborate with them as well. So it's like a friendship group. We'll be with friends with people who are friends with CERTs or other organizations you want to be friends with. So it's just like school, nothing changes. Just people get older.
CERTs are popular. Some other fields that we could cooperate, or maybe to improve cooperation?
I would just say that I support everything that Anna just said, that the people are the key of the cooperation of any kind. So all these meetings that we have in Estonia, these are very valuable, because it's very different to call someone or share ideas or even give a criticism to someone if you don't know who is behind the number. But if you know the person, you know what they are capable of, or how they would maybe react to some things that you want to say to them, then it makes a whole lot of difference if you present it the correct way.
I agree, especially in cybersecurity, the trust is extremely important. So, well, we trust CERTs. Of course we do, they are trusted, but you need to trust also people, and that helps a lot, the real network of people. Something else?
Well, I guess any event is useful for collaboration. For example, our Lithuanian National CERT organizes a Cyber Shield every year. That's a kind of a CTF for organizations. So that's a good place for collaboration, because after the Cyber Shield, there's always a sessions, discussions, what went wrong, what went good. So more of these events always would be great, yeah.
For example, we also cooperate with CERT when we have these tabletop exercises, when we check our systems or our preparedness to act in the case of cyber attack or something, and we invite CERT representative to observe us, and it's always very valuable, because he's not from the organizations, and see where can some improvement be done or what we did wrong. But on the other side, there is trust, so we are very well confident to share our plans with them, because their mission is more or less the same. So, thank you, my dear panelists. I think we are all on the same page, so the panel would be much more interesting if someone would claim that cooperation with CERTs is not possible, but obviously it's not only possible, but also needed and essential. Thank you for your thoughts, for sharing your ideas, and a great project. And thank you, .LV, for invitation. And I think now we can go for coffee.